art is a really important tool that preserves the real art.
So legislation, I have
Okay, but
15 bills on my list. I'm only going to mention 3 housing
Okay.
related very quickly.
housing related? All right.
Okay,
you're
the
talking
first
right over
is-
the date.
I have a bill that would license mold remediation. So just like the law requires asbestos abatement or lead abatement to be done by a licensed professional, the same should apply to mold because it's a matter of public health. I often find in private and public housing, landlords will spray over it and then it reappear 3 months later. And the tenant is left playing a game of whack-a-mole. Whereas if you did it properly and get to the root of it, the mold would not regrow. So licensing mold remediation. The second is underlying conditions. So suppose you have a broken pipe that is causing leaks and damaging your walls. There's a need for painting and plastering. The landlord could paint and plaster and still be technically compliant. Because when the housing inspector comes to your apartment, he's only going to see the visible conditions. So I'm going to create a law. Now HPD has the ability to issue what is known as an underlying conditions order, but HPD only issues 50 a year. There are 2 million units in the city. So 50 is a drop in the bucket. So I'm creating a law that would allow tenants to go to court, obtain an underlying conditions order, so that the landlord is not only painting and plastering, but fixing the underlying problem. That's the second. The third, yeah.
Would the tenant have to request that
Yeah, you have to go to
using
court.
that word?
Underlying condition? Yes. It would be part of an HB action. And so the judge could issue an underlying condition to repair. So it's not only the visible condition, but what's causing it. And then the third, and this is relating to the concerns about affordable housing, is that properties are not only owned by real estate firms, we have private equity firms. So suppose you have a private equity firm that partners with a real estate, so you're an owner, and you're a management company, and we're going to partner, and we're going to purchase, you're willing to sell your property for $100 million, even though it's probably worth $50. And I have, say, $40 million, so I need to borrow the rest. And I get 20 from a commercial bank. But then I need 20 more. So I get it from what is known as a mezzanine lender. And the trouble is you have these private equity firms that buy huge amounts of affordable housing for the purpose of making them unaffordable. Right? And they're taking out huge amounts of debt, not based on the actual residents who live there currently, but based on the projected incomes of the residents who could live there potentially, the higher income residents.
Once they evict the
So
old.
the point of it is to displace the existing residents.
Right.
Because the debt levels assume a much higher vacancy rate, much higher turnover rate, much higher rent levels than you normally have in rent-regulated units.
Wow.
And so the mezzanine lenders and the commercial banks are pressuring, there has to be enough rental revenue to cover both the operating costs and the debt service. And if there isn't, you're going to have the lenders pressuring the equity firm pressuring the management pressuring the tenants, harassing them. And so I'm introducing legislation that's addressing this problem. It's known as predatory equity. If there are lenders who are engaged in predatory equity, we would have a watch list to be monitored by HPD, and owners who engage in predatory equity would be part of the watch list, as well as properties that are affected by it.
Wow.
Stuytown is the most egregious example.
Right, and they lost their shirts.
Stuytown is the worst example of predatory equity in the city.
Wow.
How widespread do you think it is?
I mean, you're noticing developers from Manhattan purchasing huge amounts of properties in the Bronx,
Right.
Yep.
and they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it in anticipation of gentrification.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, predatory equity is gentrification at the level of an individual building. And so if I'm a manager and the revenues are insufficient to cover the debt service and the operating costs, I'm going to pay the debt service, which means the building's also in disrepair, which means it could go into foreclosure and lose affordability.
I want to talk about Vision Zero and sort of specifically what I feel to be a rebound effect of especially dieting of road diets, taking historically 2 lanes, making them 1.5.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Drivers, I'm a driver. It's very frustrating that you can't go a block and a half without hitting a stop sign, a speed bump, or a light. So, I got a ticket, so I drive 25 miles per hour now. But people will speed up in between. No, I got a ticket from the stupid 25 mile per hour of Boston Road to Arthur Avenue, where there are no cross streets. I mean, there's no, you have to put your brakes on. I mean, it's wear and tear on the car. It's 25 mile per hour.
Mm-hmm.
But the road diet, Community Board 10 fought it. Mr. Vaca allowed it to go through. I drove that the other day just to see what it was like. I was almost cut off twice from people trying to pass me on the right because it's not a designated lane anymore. They're trying to cut it down to one. And if you drive 25 miles per hour, they're beeping at you, they're passing you. It's more dangerous now than it was when people were doing 30, 35 in the two lanes. That's the road diet. When I heard Raphael say road diet, I almost died because at Alex Avenue, they
Yeah.
put in bicycle lanes. You almost never see a bicyclist
No.
in the lane,
No.
riding the way they're supposed to and following any traffic laws. But it frustrates the drivers, which makes it more
So
dangerous.
here's, and I think,
Well, that's all also
I
part
wish
of.
we had data, so I would say this, I would say, I mean, there's no question that it's a huge inconvenience for the drivers, right? And I'm not a driver, so I can only be sympathetic. But here's what the Department of Transportation is telling me, is that it's often the case that after these road diets, you have far fewer injuries and far fewer fatalities than you did before. And I think DOT's position is, we are a public safety agency. And more important than even the convenience of drivers is the safety of people. And if those traffic calming measures means fewer fatalities and fewer injuries, the agency's position is that we have a moral obligation to make those improvements. But I'd be curious to see the data.
But
DOT is telling me,
just driving around, and especially this area, most of the people, a lot of the people that work in this area do not work in Manhattan. They work in Westchester, where they need to have a car. This is an area where people drive. And the Department of Transportation, it appears, is more loyal to cutting back on parking so that it's harder for people to have a car, frustrating people on the road. The accidents that occur around here are from people speeding up in between red lights.
but how and again, I think the circumstances vary depending on which street you're referencing. But how streets, people's behavior is based on how streets are designed, right? And in the absence of speed cameras, really the only means of deterring speeding cars is to change the design of the streets.
Councilman, I must say that,
But again, it depends on the particular street. I mean, I think, I
well,
don't want
like
to
what
make general.
they did on Alton Avenue, and what they've just done on Tremont, only makes the driver go over a block or two, or over the Crosby in terms of Tremont, over Crosby, or take one of the other side streets. In terms of Alton, drivers to go to Mesa Ware and then go to Arnold and AT to avoid all the aggravation that they have on Alton. So there have been actually an increase in accidents on Mesa Avenue. And they.
By the school.
And they, so PS 121, this is not the
Fair point.
district, but PS 121 is on Throop Avenue. 5 blocks up, they start.
I want to see the
20
numbers,
miles
right?
an hour.
But I think it's fair if it emerges that these improvements are relocating the injuries rather than preventing them. And that's fair.
That's an interesting.
Like Bronx Park East.
That's what you're telling me.
When we're asking for a stop sign at a natural road to get into the park, the entrance to the park, they put a light a block ahead. They won't take down the light. What is that light for? There's already a block away another light. So people zoom from Pella Parkway North, they fly up.
I mean, you're getting to a point where it's probably more efficient to walk.
Right.
I couldn't get her to walk with.
It's never been harder to drive in New York City than it is now.
Yeah, but if they don't correct what they did wrong, like when they put this little bump out park where the snow gets piled in the wintertime, well, they can't take it out because it's there. Well, people make mistakes, and that's why God put erasers on pencils. You can take it out if you put it up. Well, that's the
light can turn into a stop sign there.
Romina, can you speak?
Yeah, I gotta get jokes, remember I used to do all the jokes for the reason.
Yes.
I wanted to thank you for, I know you were trying to get like an animal ambulance for the
Yeah.
area. And also a pet food pantry. Were you responsible for the one by, the ASPCA, there's a pet food pantry there? The ASPCA office?
We did have a meeting with Senator Klein coming up there about an animal.
I hear they ran out of funding or something.
Yeah, the Bronx needs an animal.
Right, no, but a pet food pantry. They have a pet food pantry at the ASPCA?
I can't take credit for it.
Okay, and I was wondering about what's going on with that animal ambulance, any funding there set aside for that you know of?
I think we can easily put in the funding. It's not, I think the question is, where are we gonna allocate?
Yeah.
Right, and
It has to be an existing,
we need like a not-for-profit that can administer those funds.
Okay.
Did you write it down on the
We go from the
survey?
council to Department of Health, and then it needs to go from,
Like New Beginnings.
it's not from New Beginnings, but maybe.
That's an only no-kill shelter in the Bronx, and it's begging for funding from the city. And the city is offering to build a new shelter, but will not help him with a shelter that he's been providing for years.
Right.
If he's a not-for-profit,
He's a
but keep in mind that
non-for-profit.
there are restrictions on the organizations to which I can allocate funding, so if you have no history of receiving city funds, then I might be prevented. But if he has a record, have him reach out to me, we'll.
He doesn't have a record of receiving city funds.
So we should.
So how do you start receiving city funds?
It could be NIDC.
yeah. If you like.
I'd like to ask a question about public safety as well. As far as, now I take the bus, the 26 bus, and transfer to the 31 bus. That's how I get over to Waters Place. But I noticed lately there's a lot of people getting on the bus with shopping carts. Is that something, is that been a law passed that? I was on a bus once where there was like 5 people and they had shopping carts, along with the people that have the walkers and things of that nature. Now, and I noticed that, I watched the bus drivers, they don't say anything. Now, is this something that
I don't know.
goes on?
I don't know if the rules with these senior citizens were like shopping.
Well, the senior citizens, they're okay, because they have walkers, and I understand that. But I'm talking about these people that get on the bus with shopping carts, went to the point where they got stuff in them, they not dispose it. What is, you know, I
What
was
kind of stuff?
wondering if you knew anything about that.
Food shopping. You're talking about food shopping. Food shopping, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I know, but that's a lot lately on the 31 bus.
Yeah, we can look into it, whether it's permissible to have. I mean,
It's permissible, but the shopping cart has to be closed. So if whatever you have in the shopping cart has to be taken out to close the shopping cart.
Is that the discretion of the bus driver if he sees a senior citizen with a grocery shopping cart?
Yeah, I don't know. If you're an elderly woman, that should be
But
sensitive.
I noticed that the bus drivers don't say anything.
But I feel like if you're a young person, you should close the shopping cart. But if you're a senior, I would make a comment.
Seniors are allowed to go.
Thank you.
I guess.
So, guys, feel free to stay after the meeting to talk to him. But if anyone needs the, I just want to get cleaned up, you know. If anyone needs the dog poop sign, here,
Somebody needs to enter it at legislation about it. Buildings can get film of people out and their dogs to poop, and the police department
All right,
can't.
Kathleen. So if you want, y'all want to laminate these and put them in outside. There's palm cards on the chair. Joe's printing. I don't get paid for them. I don't get anything for them. I'm just trying to support small business. They do laminations for $2 per sheet, which is dirt cheap. Staples is like $3 plus tax. So if you want some, they're right here. Just come up because I only have a limited amount. But please, our next meeting Wednesday, October 26th. Remember, the last Wednesdays each month, BPECA meeting right here.
Okay,
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.